This will really need to be watched as Gumball will run away from this doctor. He will probably be scared.
Okay, today I think you're not asleep. To find out what's in my room, you need to like and subscribe. Come on, I'm waiting. Well, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, it's Gumball showing his ass!
Hello, everyone, dear friends. Today we will play Roblox and Gumball will escape from the hospital. Wow, something ominous happened. I think this will be a very interesting walkthrough.
Yes, I thought so too, but we'll see how you go. Last time they were very long.
I'm telling you with a new one. It's just that the levels themselves were very long. It's not because I don't know how to jump, but they were long.
Also, friends, I ask you to support us by liking and subscribing to the channel so that we can continue to make the same interesting walkthroughs.
The game begins. Let's see how Gumball copes with this test. Today it should be much more interesting than the last ones.
Yes, it really is, Gumball. I think you'll need to go through that door.
Thank you very much. The game is really interesting. The graphics here are much better than in others.
Are you saying that because you chose her? Or is this really true?
This is true, and not because I chose it. Look at these corridors. It's all very beautifully done and much better than in others.
I think this is really true now. You are going through the very first level with parkour. It will only get harder. Be careful, Gumball.
Darwin noticed Gumball completed the first level with parkour and didn't fall. I think that's really amazing.
Hey, this isn't funny anymore. It seems like we agreed on no jokes on this topic.
Okay, Gumball, at least I'm not joking. So don't be capricious. You will need to follow the arrows along the corridors.
These needles are really very sharp and dangerous. Be careful you don't need to fall on them again.
I already guessed this. And without your hints, this is of course all great, but where to go next?
Then you will need to go through the corridor to the right side. There is still an arrow on the wall and go.
Okay, thank you. So far, it all doesn't look very difficult. Now I need to calmly walk along these sticks in the other direction, and that's it.
Perhaps it is much harder than it looks, but it is really very easy. I think he himself chose what was easier for himself in order to go faster.
This is not true. I chose a game that was much more beautiful than the previous one, and did not look at how difficult or easy it was to complete it.
Be careful. There is a level with broken glass next. You will need to jump over it all. It will be much more difficult than the previous one.
I hope you pass this level much better than you study, but you study poorly.
Okay, I'm learning. Don't tell all sorts of fairy tales to our viewers. Otherwise, they might think all sorts of things.
I completely agree with this. Gumball studies normally. You're just very smart and we're ordinary.
No, on the contrary, you should be just like me. She's just not the smartest I've ever met.
Children, stop quarreling. You are all very smart.
Okay, Mom, Gumball, you will need to go through where the parkour level will be waiting for you. I hope you learned how to jump. Otherwise, it will be much harder than last time.
Wow, did you see there the room was with a saw? It's scary. This game is really scary.
Come on, Gumball, you're one jump away. It's only going to get harder, so hang in there.
Well done, Gumball. But it will only get harder. But maybe you can handle this too without any problems.
Why does he scare me? It's much easier than the previous level. There are large platforms in the form of gloves, and there you had to jump on small stools.
Otherwise, there are voices. Apparently, we managed to scare you, but now you will need to climb the pipe and go into the ventilation.
Well, you and the coward Gumball played such a scary game last time, and now you're scared just by the word parkour.
Hey, actually, I'm playing through the game not for you, but for our channel. And in general, I wasn't the least bit scared.
Yes, so we believed you better. Come on quickly, go through the ventilation. It will only get more interesting.
Next, you will need to smuggle through medical folders, which will be much harder than the parkour level last time.
Yes, it's true. It looks much easier than it's actually done next time. You'll try it yourself and see for yourself.
Perhaps this is true, but I think it's because you just don't know how to play. I could easily pass it.
I think further I will need to walk along this path limited by acid. I'm right?
This is true. Well done for guessing. I think it will be like last time the whole game was dictated for you.
Hey, actually, I would have guessed it myself. It was just you who started dictating something to me, and not me who started asking.
Okay, that's enough, Gumball. Now you're going to have to get through these saws without hitting them.
Why are you taking so long to go through them? I could just jump over them. Otherwise, you wait until I pass. Let's hurry up.
Calm down, I've already passed the saw. Where should I go along the corridor or turn right?
I think you will need to turn right, and new needles will be waiting there. Only they will be much heavier than last time.
Even harder than explaining math to Gumball, or easier?
Much easier. You can't imagine how much because you haven't explained new topics to him yet.
But actually, it's not true. I understand mathematics much easier. What are you thinking? You're just explaining it to me. Crookedly, I would explain it much better.
Yes, of course. Just to begin with. You will need to learn all this and then explain it to me, but you still can't do it without help.
Oh no,
Then I definitely won't teach this as a teacher. Then someone will explain it and understand something. Well, in general, it's all complicated.
Well, I don't know. I was a teacher. I would like to become, you teach children something new that they didn't know before. That's great.
Hey, Gumball, why did you cheat? You need to jump over traps, and you climbed onto the bench and just jumped over them.
Then why are they standing here? Well, maybe the developer himself wanted to make such an indulgence for the players.
Well, I don't know. It's unlikely that this is intended for exactly this, but this is a hospital. Here, people should sit on this chair, and you just went through traps.
Don't make things up after this incident. Most likely no one will appear here at all, and this building will simply be demolished.
Darwin, really stop making such a big problem out of this. Well, he went through it, and that's all there is to it.
Now, the most interesting thing will happen to Gumball. You will need to run away from the evil doctor. He will drive you away, and you need to run away from him.
This will really need to be watched, as Gumball will run away from this doctor. He will probably be scared.
Hey, don't make fun of this. I think I won't be scared that much, if at all.
And we remember how in one of the playthroughs you were running away from an evil teacher and defeating him. You were so scared that you then sat at the table and could barely eat.
It's not true that I was almost not scared at all. It was you who came up with something, then you told your mother.
We won't come up with anything. We told Dad later. He also confirmed it and said that there is really something wrong with you today.
And I was wondering what it was, and Dad asked me what I did yesterday, what I ate yesterday. So that's why...
Okay, today I think you're not scared and you'll sleep fine, and then we won't tell Mom you're some kind of coward.
Next, you need to be extremely careful. You will need to jump over the exposed wires if you touch them. Otherwise, you will need to start this test again.
But at least it's not as difficult as the previous levels with parkour. I passed them there, but here everything is much easier.
It's strange, but from the outside it seems that everything is much harder than last time. Maybe you just want to seem like a professional.
No, I don't want to touch it with a professional, especially with my game. You'll go through it after me and understand that it's much easier than it seems.
Okay, but now it will be one of the most difficult. Perhaps even the most difficult level in this game. You need to jump over the smoke or pass when it ends.
So I hope you cut out the first attempt, how I got into the smoke. I just had to start all over again.
No, why should we cut this out? Let your subscribers see how you play. He volunteered to play.
But I didn't know that it would be so difficult, and everyone else didn't want to replace me. They said that I was the first to volunteer. Well, that's understandable. You don't know how to play.
Wow, you went down to the basement or something called it. Well, in general, you will now need to go through this pipe, avoiding the gas escaping from it.
Sounds very complicated, but actually looks much easier than I thought. But it's not that hard how to keep an eye on your sister.
I mean, it's harder to keep track of me. You just put me in front of the TV and you go somewhere, either to play on the computer or something.
I mean, then you run away from him. What do you start doing? I have to break away from my studies. You should be put back in prison.
Now, with Gumball, I completely agree. It's really very difficult to follow you. You can run away somewhere, and we have to keep an eye on you. And you won't be distracted for a second.
I don't believe you just sit me down on the TV and then go somewhere as if it's very difficult. Next time I'll keep an eye on you.
And we will run away from you in all directions and then look for us and worry. Suddenly you ran away from us somewhere, broke something, anything is possible.
But when raising a child, you need at least some kind of entertainment and not just sit him in front of the TV and wait for him to go somewhere.
Here I agree with my sister, and she really needs some kind of entertainment and not just wait for something to happen to her.
Well, it's still better than teaching her something. She already knows everything. But I still need to teach it later in some interesting way. It's difficult to tell her, it's just difficult.
Well, I like to tell you something. You listen to me attentively. I don't know why you don't like this thing so much.
By the way, while you're here arguing with each other, Gumball has already played through almost the entire game. Time flies so quickly when you talk while playing.
I really didn't even notice when I left the hospital. There's only a short distance left to go.
Gumball, be careful. You will need to jump over all these obstacles at high speed. Then you will complete the game.
Hooray!
Thank you also watched our progress. Like and subscribe to the channel. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.